All the parts have been thoroughly greased. The base has been greased in its holes. Good thing I took some photos because I had this one over here at first and that does not go there. This part goes here, like so. These all line up with each other and it's going to be fun holding that. Then this and the pawl spring, the pawl fell out, so we're going to put you on pause and start over. This is the third take. So the hard part was it's slanted, it's greasy. This slid down, or this pawl slid out, and one of the pawls jumped out, and the spring, which is greasy, jumped out, and I had to reassemble this piece here. But this is what happens. It's not all straightforward. So I put this piece into the hole through this gear on the bottom first, down here. So this is holding in the hole. Then this piece will come in. This is lined up with a hole. This will line up with a hole, like that. You got to hold them together. And then there's a post that'll go through there and a post that'll go through there on the base. And hopefully this will go in smoothly. There's one post that goes there. The other post goes right through there. We greased those posts already, and we got to get them in the holes. Sometimes you have to back this up a little bit in order to see where the holes are and get that long post and the short post into their respective holes. Actually, if you line up the bolt holes, it makes it easier. But everything is lined up and should turn freely. It's turning freely that way, and it seems kind of hard to do with your fingers. However, it's looks like it's working properly. What I didn't do is I didn't grease this yet, so I'm going to do that now. And just put a little grease on there. Even though all the other parts that are about to go over it have grease, why not just make sure we have a little extra around the base, around the column, up around these gear points up here. I'm going to put a little bit more up there. And of course it's very hot out today, even with all some of the Dodger and Bimini glass rolled up and out of the way. Its index is 107 degrees, they said today. There's quite a breeze blowing, so that's helping. But my intent was to do this early this morning. That didn't happen. Okay, so the first bearing is going to go on. We had it marked with the blue tape for the top, so that's the top, and that should just slide straight over perfectly. Then there's a separator. That was the top of the separator. That seems good. The second bearing, slide right back over. Again, I had these all lined up in order, and that makes it much easier. And now I marked the tops so I knew which way they're supposed to go. For some reason, these bearings look ever so slightly different to me, so I didn't want to mix them up. The next thing to go in place actually is the center spindle, which goes down. Then the entire cover goes on. Oh, wait, forgot to put the bolts in, so I'm going to do that. So the bolts are snugged up, everything is nice and tight. Let's just hope this all works properly, and we'll continue to reassemble. So the cover goes on. Drops right in. Sounds good. Get this extra grease off of here because we don't want that on there. Use a little soapy water in a few minutes to get that off, the rest of it. And then this little sleeve piece goes in, tightens that up, And then we have to put the self-tailer back on, so we're going to have to lift this up a little bit to get the self-tailer in and lined up properly. There it goes. There it goes. There are gear teeth here that it has to fit into. And again, let's just use the rag to get the excess grease. I'll use a little soapy water before I put the line on there. Get that off. That's good. And then the cap goes in, and I greased the threads on the inside of the cap as well. The cap goes back in, and then my handy dandy tool from Harbor Freight. There we go. And just tighten up the cap there. Okay, reassembled. Completely reassembled, cleaned off, and it's nice and quiet. Works very smoothly in both directions. And let's see how it is with a little load on it. There's not going to be much load. But I'm going to put some force on it. This way. Nice. Oh, that's smooth. That's great. So that's one. That's the 2-speed. And I have a second 2-speed with the halyard, the main sheet on it, which I'll do next. I'm not going to videotape that because that slows me down. And it's the same winch. So hope you enjoyed that.